I can't go. Connor stood in the doorway of our bedroom, his suitcase already packed beside mine. My stomach dropped. Our flight to the Bahamas left in 6 hours. 6 hours until our dream honeymoon, the one we'd planned for 8 months. What do you mean you can't go? My voice came out steady, but my hands trembled as I folded another sundress. Emergency work trip. My boss needs me in Florida for a critical client meeting. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I'm so sorry, Maya. I tried to get out of it. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to demand he choose me over work for once. Instead, I forced a smile. Of course, I understand. He kissed my forehead quickly, too quickly, and grabbed his bag. I'll make it up to you, I promise. The door closed behind him. Something felt wrong. I sat on the bed, staring at my packed suitcase. Tears burned behind my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. This was supposed to be our time, our beginning. I opened my laptop to cancel the resort reservation when I noticed an email notification. Our shared inbox, the one we'd set up for wedding planning and hadn't bothered to separate yet. Subject: booking confirmation, Paradise Bay Resort. My heart stopped. Paradise Bay, that was our honeymoon resort. I clicked the email with shaking hands. Confirmation for one guest. Check-in today. Luxury ocean view suite. One guest. Connor wasn't going to Florida for work. He was going to the Bahamas, to our resort, without me. I read the email 3 more times, hoping I'd misunderstood. But the words remained the same, mocking me with their clarity. I spent the next hour in shock, packing our apartment. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe the company had clients at that specific resort. Maybe. The phone rang. Our landline, the one only family in Connor's office had. Hello. Hi, is Connor available? A man's voice, familiar. This is his wife. He's on the work trip you sent him on. I kept my tone pleasant, professional. Silence, then, work trip. I didn't send anyone anywhere this week. My blood turned to ice. I'm sorry, who is this? Marcus Fleming, Connor's boss. He sounded genuinely confused. Maya, right? Connor took personal days. He said you both needed time after the wedding. Personal days, not a work trip. Wait, he told you that? Marcus's voice shifted. Maya, what's going on? I hung up after mumbling something about a misunderstanding. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Connor had lied to me, lied to his boss, taken our honeymoon destination for himself. But why? My phone buzzed. A notification from Instagram. Someone had tagged me in a photo. I opened it, and my world shattered. Connor, at Paradise Bay Resort. The pool I'd spent hours researching, picking because of its perfect sunset view. His arm wrapped around a woman I'd never seen before, blonde, laughing, wearing a bikini that cost more than my wedding dress. The caption read, Couples Retreat Weekend, Paradise Bay Living My Best Life. Posted by Connor's college friend, Blake. Blake, who thought this was normal, who didn't know Connor had a wife. I screenshot everything, every photo, every comment, every tag. I didn't cry. That surprised me. Instead, something cold and clear settled over me like armor. I created a new folder on my laptop, named it Work Trip with bitter irony, started organizing evidence. The resort confirmation, the Instagram photos, screenshots of our original honeymoon booking in both our names, canceled 3 days ago by Connor. Then I checked our bank statements. Charges from jewelry stores I'd never visited, expensive restaurants during his late meetings, a payment to something called Moonlight Photography, romantic couple shoots, according to their website. None of this was for me. I found a charge from 2 months ago. Brilliant Cuts Jewelers, custom design deposit, $3,200. I'd never received jewelry from Connor, not even a wedding gift beyond the ring. Connor returned 4 days later, tan and relaxed. He walked through the door with his suitcase and a smile I wanted to rip off his face. How was your trip? I asked from the kitchen, my voice sweet as poison. Exhausting, those clients were demanding. He set his bag down, kissed my cheek. But I closed the deal, made the company a lot of money. I stirred my coffee. That's wonderful. Which client was it again? He hesitated, just a fraction of a second. Oh, Harrison Tech, big account. Where in Florida? Miami, the conference center downtown. He grabbed a water bottle from the fridge. Why all the questions? Just curious about my husband's important work. I smiled. Did you work with anyone I know? Maybe Blake from college. His face paled, just slightly, then he recovered. 2 weeks later, our friends threw us a belated wedding celebration dinner. 20 people crammed into Vanessa's apartment, laughing and toasting to our happiness. Connor held court in the living room, telling everyone about his huge promotion opportunity. I watched him from across the room, this stranger I'd married. His phone buzzed on the coffee table. I was close enough to see the screen light up. Miss you already, Babe read. The name above it, Elena. Connor grabbed the phone quickly, but not before I saw it. Not before I memorized that name. Bathroom, I mouthed to Vanessa and slipped down the hallway. In the bathroom, I pulled out my phone and typed Elena's number into a new message thread. Hey, it's me. Can't talk right now but wanted to say hi. Elena responded within minutes. Miss you too. When can I see you again? Face blowing a kiss. My stomach churned, but I kept typing. Soon, how was your week? Lonely without you. I can't believe we're finally together. I never thought you'd actually leave her. Leave her, leave me. I steadied my breathing and typed. About that, when did I say I was divorced? A long pause, then, you said you were getting divorced, that it was almost final. Connor, what's going on? I took a screenshot and saved it. Then I typed the truth. This is his wife. We got married 3 weeks ago. The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then nothing. Elena had blocked the number. But it didn't matter. I had what I needed. That night I couldn't sleep. Connor snored beside me, peaceful and content, while rage burned in my chest like acid. I waited until his breathing deepened, then slipped out of bed. In the kitchen, I opened my laptop and stared at the work trip folder. Photos of him with Elena, bank statements showing hidden spending, text message screenshots, the resort confirmation. I should trust you, I whispered to the empty room, remembering his gaslighting when I gently mentioned noticing some strange charges. He'd called me paranoid, controlling, said I was ruining our marriage with my insecurity. I opened a new browser window and searched. Divorce lawyers near me. The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old books. Catherine Morrison, sharp suit, sharper eyes, reviewed my folder of evidence with the efficiency of someone who'd seen this story 1,000 times. You've done good work here, she said, closing the laptop. Most people come to me with suspicions. You have proof. What do I do now? Don't confront him again. Not yet. She leaned forward. Gather more evidence, financial records especially. If he's hiding money, we need to find it before he moves it. How do I? Access everything you can legally access. Joint accounts, statements, credit reports. Document every transaction. She slid a business card across the desk. This is a forensic accountant. She's excellent at finding hidden assets. I took the card, my hand steady now. And then we destroy him legally. The forensic accountant, Patricia, found the hidden account within a week. It's a business account, she explained over the phone. Technically joint, but he's the primary. He's been transferring money monthly under consulting expenses. How much? $47,000 over 18 months. I nearly dropped the phone. Where did it go? Luxury hotels, high-end restaurants, jewelry stores. She paused. There's one transaction that might interest you. 3 weeks ago. Elena Designs engagement ring deposit, $8,500. Engagement ring for his mistress, using our money. Can you send me everything? My voice sounded distant, like someone else was speaking. Already in your email. After I hung up, I sat in silence, staring at the wall. Connor had been planning this for over a year. The charity gala was Vanessa's idea, a fundraiser for the children's hospital where she worked. I wore a red dress that made me feel powerful, even though I felt hollow inside. Halfway through the evening, I spotted Marcus Fleming by the bar. Connor's boss, the one who'd accidentally exposed the first lie. I approached with my most professional smile. "Marcus, how nice to see you." He turned, clearly uncomfortable. "Maya, hi, how are you?" "Wonderful, how's work?" "Good, good." He shifted his weight. "Listen, I hope Connor and you worked things out. I felt terrible about that phone call." "What phone call?" I kept my expression innocent. "When he told everyone you'd canceled the honeymoon for health reasons. I hope you're feeling better." The room tilted. "I canceled it." Marcus's face paled. "Oh God, I shouldn't have. He said you had." Connor was getting sloppy. That realization gave me power. I started setting traps. Small ones. Casual mentions of a year-end bonus I knew wasn't coming. Fake social media posts about exciting financial news that only he could see. 2 days after the gala, I mentioned over dinner. "My boss said I'm getting a $10,000 bonus next month." Connor's eyes lit up. "That's amazing, babe. What are you going to do with it?" "I was thinking we could invest it, or maybe a vacation." I watched his face carefully. "What do you think?" "You should do whatever makes you happy." He kissed my temple. "You deserve it." The next morning, I checked our joint account. He'd transferred exactly $10,000 to the hidden account, money I didn't actually have. He was stealing from me preemptively. I bought a voice-activated recorder from an electronics store and hid it in Connor's car, in the compartment between the seats where he kept his gym bag. The quality wasn't perfect, but it captured enough. "Yeah, I'm still with Maya," Connor's voice, distorted but clear. "But not for long." Another voice, male, unfamiliar. "When are you going to tell her?" "After I move the rest of the money. Alina doesn't know about the joint accounts yet." He laughed. "By the time Maya figures it out, I'll be gone. Alina thinks I'm some entrepreneur. When we're married, she'll have access to everything I've saved." "Dude, that's cold." "That's business, man. Maya's getting comfortable. She won't see it coming." I listened to the recording 5 times, each word hardening something inside me. Over the next week, I moved with surgical precision. I withdrew my half from our joint savings, legally mine, opened a new account at a different bank, changed my direct deposit, moved my grandmother's jewelry and important documents to Vanessa's apartment. I felt nothing, no anger, no sadness, just cold, crystalline clarity. Connor didn't notice. He was too busy texting Alina, too confident in his plan. "You seem distant lately," he said one evening. "Just stressed about work." I kissed his cheek. "Nothing for you to worry about." That weekend, I hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus, ironically, and his reviews promised discretion and results. "Follow him," I said. "I need photos, timestamps, everything." Marcus, the investigator, delivered his report 3 weeks later. The photos made my hands shake, not with hurt anymore, but with rage. Connor and Alina at Paradise Bay Resort. Again, same rooms we'd booked, same restaurants I'd chosen. He was recreating our honeymoon with her. There were photos of them at the beach bar where I'd planned our sunset dinner. At the couple's massage spa I'd researched for months, walking hand in hand on the beach where we were supposed to renew our vows someday. But the final photo stopped my breath. Connor on one knee, Alina crying, hands over her mouth, a ring box open between them. The same beach where he'd proposed to me. "He proposed yesterday," Marcus said over the phone. "I got video too if you need it." "Send everything." Catherine reviewed my evidence folder, now thick enough to be a book. "This is solid, airtight." She looked at me with something like respect. "When do you want to file?" "Not yet. I'd been thinking about this for days. I want him to know, not in court, not through papers." "What do you mean?" "Our first anniversary is in 3 weeks. I want to plan a dinner, invite his parents, his boss, our closest friends." I met her eyes. I want him to see everything he's lost all at once in front of everyone who matters." Catherine smiled, a sharp, predatory thing. "That's dramatic, I love it." "Can I do that and still file?" "Have the papers ready, but yes." She leaned back. "Just don't do anything that could be used against you." The dinner was at Rosewood, the restaurant where Connor had proposed. I'd reserved the private room, sent elegant invitations, and told everyone it was a surprise anniversary celebration for Connor. He arrived expecting praise, a room full of people celebrating him. Instead, I'd set up a projector. "Thank you all for coming," I said, standing at the head of the table. Connor sat beside me, confused but smiling. "Connor and I have been married for 1 year today. I thought we should celebrate by looking back at some memories." The screen flickered to life. First, the resort booking confirmation, 1 guest. Connor's smile faltered. Next, screenshots of bank statements, highlighted charges to jewelry stores, hotels, restaurants. His mother gasped. His father leaned forward, squinting. Then photos from Paradise Bay, Connor and Alina, laughing, kissing, swimming. The room fell completely silent. You could hear breathing, someone's chair creaking. Marcus Fleming, Connor's boss, stood abruptly. "You lied to the company. You took personal days and claimed work trips." Connor's face had gone white. It's not what it looks like." "Then what is it?" I kept my voice calm. "Please explain." His mother was crying. His father's jaw was clenched so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. The final image appeared on screen. Connor on one knee, proposing to Alina. At that exact moment, Connor's phone rang. Alina's name flashed on the screen, visible to everyone. I picked it up and answered on speaker. "Connor, baby, I just got the weirdest message from." "Alina," I said clearly. "This is Maya, Connor's wife. We're celebrating our first anniversary." Silence, then, "Wife, Connor, you said your wife was." "Out of the picture," I finished for her. "Is that what he told you?" "He said you were getting divorced." Alina's voice was shaking. "He said it was final. Connor, what the hell?" I ended the call and looked around the table. Connor's parents had stood, his mother gathering her purse with shaking hands. "We raised you better than this," his father said quietly. "Don't call us." Marcus cleared his throat. "Connor, come to my office Monday morning. We'll discuss your employment status." One by one, our friends filed out. Some hugged me. Some couldn't meet my eyes. All of them left Connor sitting there alone. "Maya," he started. "Don't," I gathered my things. "My lawyer will be in touch. Consider this my resignation from your lies." I walked out with my head high. Monday morning, Catherine filed the divorce papers. By Tuesday, Connor had been served at work, in front of his colleagues. Marcus had suspended him pending an internal investigation into his false expense reports and misuse of company time. By Wednesday, I'd filed for half of his business shares, the ones in the consulting company he'd built partly with money from our joint account. Connor called 17 times that day. I blocked his number. He showed up at the apartment. I'd already changed the locks. He sent emails, texts from different numbers, messages through friends. I forwarded everything to Catherine. "This is harassment," she said. "We can add it to the filing." "Please do." The discovery process revealed even more. Connor had taken out a credit card in both our names without telling me, racking up $30,000 in debt for his trips with Alina. He'd forged my signature on loan documents. He'd lied to the IRS about our joint tax return. "He's facing criminal charges," Catherine said. "Financial fraud, forgery, the IRS is investigating." Connor's lawyer called for settlement talks. Catherine scheduled a meeting. We sat across from each other in a conference room. Connor looked terrible, unshaven, hollow-eyed, a shell of the confident man I'd married. "Maya, please," he said. "Can we talk alone?" "No, say what you need to say here." "I made a mistake. I was confused. I'll do anything." Catherine slid papers across the table. "My client wants half of all marital assets, including the business shares. She wants you to assume full responsibility for the fraudulent credit card debt, and she wants alimony for emotional distress. Connor's lawyer winced. Connor's face crumbled. I'll be ruined. I leaned forward. Then you'll know how I felt when I discovered what you'd done. 3 months later, I stood in my new apartment overlooking the harbor. Boxes were still unpacked, but the view was worth it. Blue water stretching to the horizon, sailboats drifting past. The settlement had been brutal but fair. Connor lost the business shares, had to repay the debt, and faced criminal penalties for forgery. His reputation was destroyed. Marcus had fired him after the internal investigation. His parents refused to speak to him. I'd used my settlement money to start a small consulting business, something I dreamed about for years but never pursued. Remote work, flexible schedule, complete independence. My phone buzzed, an unknown number. I almost ignored it, then saw the message preview. This is Alina. Can we talk? We met at a coffee shop near the water-neutral territory. Alina looked different from her photos. Older, tired, real. I didn't know he was married, she said immediately. I swear, he showed me divorce papers, said he was just waiting for the final signature. They were fake. She nodded, pulling out her phone. I found out after your anniversary dinner. I confronted him. She showed me messages, Connor admitting he'd forged documents, lied about everything. Then I found out he'd drained my savings account, said it was for our future. Transferred it to some offshore account. How much? $40,000. Her hands shook around her coffee cup. I filed a police report. He's being investigated for that too. We sat in silence, two women connected by one man's lies. I'm sorry, Alina said. For my part in this, I should have verified. He's a convincing liar. I surprised myself by reaching across to squeeze her hand. We both learned that. Alina smiled sadly. To dodged bullets. 1 year after the honeymoon that never happened, I received a postcard in the mail. Paradise Bay Resort, the sunset view I'd spent hours researching. Wish you were here. The handwriting was unfamiliar. I flipped it over. Vanessa and her new boyfriend, grinning at the camera from the beach bar. I smiled and pinned it to my refrigerator. My consulting business had grown beyond my expectations. 6 steady clients, a waiting list, speaking invitations at women's business conferences. Connor, according to mutual friends, was unemployed and living with his brother. Alina had testified against him in the fraud case. He was facing 2 years in prison. I didn't feel satisfaction at his downfall. I didn't feel anything toward him anymore. I felt free. I opened my laptop and started writing. My story, raw and honest, about deception and financial abuse and finding strength. Within a week, it had been shared thousands of times. Women messaged me, thanking me for speaking up, asking for advice. I'd started something bigger than revenge. Standing at my window that evening, watching the sun set over the harbor, I thought about that canceled honeymoon. Connor had stolen that trip, thinking he was stealing my happiness. Instead, he'd given me something better, the truth. And from that truth, I'd built a life he could never touch. I whispered to my reflection in the glass, You canceled our honeymoon for a lie, but I built a life from your mistake. Then I closed the curtains and got back to work.